Yo, Adam.
Yo.
I'm going on a search.
Search for what?
What do I like to search for? What are some of the things? You know me.
What do you like to search for?
Yeah.
Well, if I check your search history, I'm gonna
don't do that.
What are you searching for? What are you looking out for?
Well, today we're searching for Herbie.
We've been trying to search for Herbie. Finally. I'm Adam Manis.
And I'm Peter Martin.
And you're listening to the You'll Hear It podcast.
Music, jazz, life advice coming at you.
Oh, there you go. Coming at you, sponsored by Open Studio at openstudiojazz.com for a deeper dive on all this. Peter, we've been talking about searching for Herbie for months.
I know, but
you wanted to go on like a full-on card trip adventure documentary searching for Herbie, and I was like, we probably know someone that knows him, so we could just call him if we wanted to.
And also, what's ended up happening is just wait for him to come to us. He's going to be coming, well, we're hoping right here at this desk. That's TBA.
Maybe.
But he's going to be very close to here, like within
less than a block
yards,
away.
Right?
Yeah.
In just about 6 or 7 weeks, which we're super excited. Coming to the Music at the Intersection Festival right here on the streets of Grand Center. So yeah, we're excited. You know, I've been having fun looking at some videos and some posts about their summer tour. They're over in Europe right now. Herbie Hancock and his wonderful group with Lionel, Lueke, James Genus. I saw Terrence Blanchard on there.
Yeah.
You know, just always killing it, always doing his thing. We love Herbie.
We love Herbie. And you know, that's what this episode is all about. All about Herbie's sort of template, which is a crass way of saying his style of playing. Yeah.
Is that like a template? Template.
How do you say it?
Template? Yeah, I don't know.
How do you say gala?
Gala.
Come on.
Oh, more on the gala at the end of the end. Yeah. I love how we look up here.
I know, like they're, yeah.
But yeah, so this is, we're calling this the most copied pianist in jazz.
He's 100.
Is that hyperbole?
No, I think for modern musicians, Herbie is the most copied pianist. If you go to any jazz gig right now at any jazz club around the world, there's a good chance the pianist has some kind of direct Herbie influence happening in their playing. So not everyone, but that's why we're saying he is probably the most copied right now. At least for our generation, it was like everybody sounded like Herbie for a minute.
Right.
Like
if everybody sounds like Herbie, nobody sounds like Herbie.
That's right. That's right. So much that people like Ethan Iverson have written blog posts about this phenomenon.
Really?
And or something, or I forget, he wrote something about it. Like,
shout out to the meth blog.
Yeah. And then do the math. Do the math is your that's your personal blog, which I love reading because it's all over the place. But we
are in Missouri.
No, and other people have talked about, like, you know, was it Mulgrew or someone who said, like, I went to a jazz club and everybody sounded like Herbie or something like that.
Yeah.
Really, one of the most copied musicians in our lifetime,
right?
By us too, by the way. Like, we're not immune.
And I mean, I always wonder about, like, we saying the most copied pianist, the most influential pianist. That's two different things, right? Because I would put out there maybe almost like we could look at. I would look at Herbie Hancock as the most, you know, possibly influential just musicians and forces in jazz beyond just piano.
Yeah.
But then copying, and certainly influential to pianists, absolutely.
Yeah.
So this is going to be fun though, because we're going to go back and listen. We had a little bit of a back and forth, a little bit of a disagreement over what era Herbie. Should we divulge that to our dear listeners?
Yeah, let's talk about it. So we chose a video from 1964 playing with Miles Davis playing Autumn Leaves.
Yes.
Ultimately because it's very accessible and it's a very young Herbie.
Yes.
Still in the dawn of his career. Yeah. Right? And he still has,
during the age of Aquarius, I believe,
he still has the Herbieisms that we will see that he carries to this sound today, and the Herbieisms that are so incredibly copied by pretty much every pianist, or a very large chunk of the piano population after him.
Right, and I kind of wanted to go a little bit more recent, or just, you know, maybe from the 80s, 90s, whatever, as opposed to 60s or 70s, because I feel like that the later eras and the current era for Herbie Hancock, you've got all the Herbieisms, obviously, but then you've got just the depth and breadth of this amazing life in music and all those nuances that were added on. But that's okay. We're going to go with your ideas.
You're still disagreeing. We're on the podcast. You're still disagreeing about the choice.
Our listeners like to hear about this.
No,
but this is what makes it fun.
Listen, there's no bad era of Herbie, including the current era. But I think it's fun to go back and check him out when he was just a young lad,
right,
with the Miles Davis.
Well, and then remember the other version I wanted that you shot down as well. We should call this episode, 5 different ways Adam shot down Peter's ideas.
Is there anything wrong with listening to Herbie play Autumn Leaves with Miles?
No.
You got the maestro on there. You got Tony Williams. Come on, man.
We're in that period of the podcast with some of our non-dear listeners referred to as the useless dribble.
Yeah, let's keep it drivel. Let's keep it going. Let's keep it going. Shout out useless drivel. Put it in the comments.
No, but the other idea I had was from 1963, which was from of course, the live concert at Lincoln Center, My Funny Valentine, or is that from 4 or More?
I think that's My Funny Valentine.
Oh no, we were talking about All of You. It was a different tune.
All of You
from that.
But we wanted to get some video.
We wanted to get some video. So this is cool, of course.
Check the tape.
So this is 1964 in Milan. That's of course the maestro Ron Carter, Wayne Shorter. I have it queued up to right before Herbie solo. Okay, so this is something
already.
No, in that
a theme is developing and its vibe is
right. And if we had more time, we could take it back. And I encourage you. We'll link to this video, of course. Because this is as much coming out of what Wayne played. Such a great little segue.
Something like that.
I think it's like that clustery, thing. Yeah, up to the 11th on top. Actually, I don't think it doesn't double the 11. That's what weakens it. So it's like, and then down a whole step. I've heard Herbie do this a lot, but just check out the way he does it.
Yeah, the dynamics there. All those airy chords that happen on the tonics. Herbie is number one.
Shout out Wynn Kelly.
Pause it here. So we could talk a lot about the harmonic and melodic concept and how, this is a time, every time is a time of evolution. Everything is always changing. And this is when this sort of style away from functional harmony, even on a functionally harmonic tune, using more of like a modal system to tackle it. It's really his rhythm, though, that starts to change away from just like all of these little bebop undulations and ducks and dips and things.
Yep.
And it's this like plane that happens up and down the keyboard. And I feel like him and Wayne are very on the like same spectrum, different instruments for that rhythmic evolution of the music.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you jump forward to their wonderful duet recording, 1+1. You really, you see that fully realized synthesis years later. So exciting to track these careers.
Yeah, you can pay attention to the rhythm, sort of the rhythmic language he's playing here versus someone like Wynton Kelly or Red Garland, and how different it feels. It feels, much more progressive than what they were doing.
At the same time, I would say like his sense of swing and groove is even closer connected than we realize with Wynton Kelly specifically. Certainly Red Garland as well. But I mean, like some of the phrasing of these lines. Yeah, but like just from a groove standpoint. But it's almost like he's taking that and kind of going, let's look at it from a different angle.
It's like Picasso's guitar. It's like it's in the shape of a guitar,
but it's kind of weird.
Where Wynton Kelly would have a realistic looking guitar. This is like a little bit skewed version of that.
Yeah. It's super exciting, man. Like that, like at the micro level, like it's very like traditional swinging bluesy, a lot of bebop stuff. But like he's already and this is like just the beginning, I believe, the second chorus.
We've done like 2 phrases so far, Peter.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, he's stretching over the bar lines and like phrases that are going over like 7 beats and things, and then with like odd 3 beats missing and stuff.
Yep.
But then he's using these traditional elements like to pull it in, and then it's very similar, I think, to the way Ron Carter is walking, because like some of it's very, very, but then it'll be like, like it'd be like omitting some roots on the ones.
It's
the
same concept you could take from like Paul Chambers to Ron Carter, like this like it's a cubist almost version of the same stuff. Yeah.
I mean, that's like.
And again, the airy way he's harmonically and melodically dealing with the tonics of these progressions, because obviously Autumn Leaves is dealing with a major cadence and a minor cadence, and he is obscuring the tonics more than I think the generation before him.
Yep, absolutely. And then it's just like, even with his left-hand comp, it's super light, and then boom, like really jabbing on like some of those dominant things to give it some accentuation to really what he's setting up thematically in the right hand.
All of these things are the things that people copy. These are the things when you want to get this sound. And it's not even known as the Herbie sound because it became so ubiquitous after this that but it starts here. Back it up a little bit. Let's hear a little more of In a Row without interrupting. Drivel without the drivel. Man, the maestros feel through this part too. So relaxed. So almost like Being in Love quote.
Not being afraid to not resolve things.
That's exactly right.
Let it float. Go up 1 note higher than you would expect. So let's just talk about one thing that I think it's missed sometimes with Herbie's playing. And this is up till today, like the use of something super simple and standard that's not like, a double diminished or some kind of crazy thing where you're like, what? I mean, even like how he kind of is placing those first chords, it's kind of like, wow, that's a lot to play at the beginning of the solo. Yeah. But then check out when he's just going to, like he uses that at the right places in terms of like a counterpoint to some crazy stuff. And that's just the second, the third, and the fifth. What do you call that? It's just like a cluster chord.
Yeah. For like a G minor, A, B flat, and D. Yeah. And then I don't know if this is exactly what he played, but I know that he's done this in many other situations that I've transcribed. But you can hear him too obscuring the tonics by using more of a diminished sound. Even when he's doing that cluster, he'll be like,
diminished on top of the minor.
Yeah,
because he like that kind of
something like that. I'm not sure if that's exactly what he's doing, but.
So that's another thing, and I mean, Wynton Kelly did this in a different way, but like playing around with the minor obviously it's G minor, but you've got the minor 7 and the 6.
Yep.
Yeah. It could have been, but he goes down. I think he goes down to the 6. Yeah. So that's a really extended line that has a couple of like, we're almost there.
So he goes down here somewhere as he's going. Something like he's in this zone here.
Yeah.
Probably like a half step down, maybe he might be thinking.
Yeah. Let's just check out, because that's a long line, too. Before. Top. And now that's the end of the line. Then he's doing the other thing. But like that's longer. It's almost the whole A section. It's the whole A section up until that G minor.
Yeah.
Going to the first ending. Like that's longer than we typically would recommend. It's like, okay, if you're playing piano, when are you going to breathe? But this, you're talking about Wayne Shorter, Herbie connection. Wayne was great at this, playing these like really long phrases, but they were not really one phrase. I mean, you could say they were continuous.
No, there's small breaks that are happening.
There's small breaks. Yeah. Those are breaths in the music.
Yep.
And it's because of how he crafts. He makes that one continuous phrase into a story.
Yep, exactly.
So it's like somebody that can write with this like run-on sentence, but it doesn't feel like a run-on sentence.
No, there's still like this setup body resolution kind of thing that happens.
And he's got a couple places where it's like he's messing with our expectations over these very standard chords. This is super exciting. And I love it. A little bit of Rick Garland there.
Hey.
And then he's just, he doesn't like resolve it down. He stays up there on that D flat even as the C minor starts. It's all like fluid. Like the form is fluid even as he's playing this very traditional kind of stuff.
And using these structures to still obscure things, like he did that. I forget what the setup was, but like so on the F, like a chromatic thing.
Yeah.
Doing chromatic thing. I think it was something like that. Something like that, but that obscures that dominant 7, so it's not just like
right, exactly.
Exactly.
And then look, for drummers out here, anybody just interested in drums, if you want to talk about textbook right hand ride cymbal technique, look at Tony Williams' hand.
Greatest
like
of all
learn
time.
from that. Look at that. I mean, you can learn from piano. Just like look how natural and fluid that movement is. Dancing.
Chromaticism there, harmonically.
So there he's going. Yeah. So that's like the half step above going to the G, even though it's really still that 2-5-1. Like typically the substitution would be the E flat, but he goes up to A flat there, which is cool. It goes back to it.
And then thematically here, just setting up these arpeggios.
These long, big phrases.
The repetition. Now here's the payoff.
Yeah, and then it's like boom, bang. It's not between bang. It's like boom, bang. It's after the one.
Yeah.
Breakdown.
When you talk about some beautiful solo architecture, human nature says, your ego says, we've got energy built. Let's keep the energy keeping going forward.
Breakdown, so great.
And the artistic mind says, no, let's slow this down a bit. Unbelievable. Yeah. I mean, what is he, like 25 there maybe?
Yeah, he's young.
Crazy.
Maybe even younger. I mean, Tony Williams might have been a teenager still at this point.
Crazy,
64.
Man.
I think this might be 63. Yeah.
The Herbieisms and the amazing artistic grace that he gives his audience to follow along. There's so much repetition amongst phrases, but again, in obscure ways that it draws you in, especially at this time. That language, a lot of that language is still used by our favorite pianists today. And like I said, I think he's probably the most copied pianist from his time forward.
Yeah,
I can't think of someone else in the modern era who's more copied.
Right, and I'd say there's been more like just sort of unconscious copying of Herbie than probably any.
Yeah, influential copying. Copying sounds kind of negative, but everybody copies. Herbie's copied people to get where he is. Yeah,
the tentacles of his artistry are so, they're so ever present in the jazz piano scene that even people that are like, I don't really like Herbie, or I don't listen to Herbie or something, they still got Herbie in their play.
Yep.
You know, because there's so many different directions that it comes from.
Yeah, even young musicians who maybe don't listen to a lot of Herbie, but the people they listen to listen to a lot of Herbie.
And I should just say, full disclosure, we were doing a huge disservice to this solo because we took it out of context.
Yeah, totally.
Like, I mean, it's still a great solo. And
but what happened before it, after
what happened before and where it goes into is really interesting. And you can go check out, there's a number of different versions. I would say, as great as this version is, I would still say there's the record Miles in Europe, which was from the same year.
Yeah.
And it says 64. I want to say this is all 63. I'm not sure. Ron Carter has a wonderful book for
Chartography,
right, Chartography, which is like comparing the different bass lines that he played during these couple of months when they were
incredible.
It's incredible
to see all the bass lines Ron Carter played on Autumn Leaves.
Yeah, and why? Yeah, and his breakdown in terms of why he's playing them and how it changed from night to night. But I would say, for me, my personal favorite Herbie solo during these several months of them playing this was on the Live in Europe record. We'll link to that, and that has been called a number of different things, but it was live from the Antibes Jazz Festival outdoors on the beautiful beach, the Côte d'Azur, as it were.
That sounds like a really fancy party, like a gala.
It sounds like a gala. It
kind of sounds like
a segue, another French word.
Oh, now we're getting Frenchy. Okay.
C'est bon, mon ami. Tell us about gala.
So gala stands for Gentlemen and Ladies Agreement. It is, listen.
I love the authority you're saying, because like 20 minutes ago at the coffee shop, you didn't know what that meant.
No, we had to figure it out
what it
again. This is a free podcast. It's a free video on YouTube.
Well, it's not free.
It's not free.
It's a seemingly free podcast.
It seems like it's free, but we do require.
Yeah.
Require?
It's required.
You go. You finish, man. I'm not.
Oh, you don't like the requirement part.
Well, no. It is required that you adhere to the agreement,
which is the gala, the Gentlemen and Ladies Agreement, which means that we provide the podcast.
We do indeed.
We bring the fire.
100%.
We bring the flames,
Bam.
baby. We bring the flame emoji.
Yeah.
We bring the expert analysis and co-analysis. And then you guys just go and
just go ahead and
subscribe to the YouTube channel.
Just subscribe to the YouTube channel.
It sounds like such a letdown, but that's all it is.
And leave a comment.
Right.
The traditional comment is agreement adhered to. We will also take stopped at the stop sign.
Yes.
And
gala.
And
you
gala.
Just put in gala. Gala. But we appreciate it. We've been having a lot of folks. We apologize that we haven't been able to jump in there and answer every one. But we get a lot of comments. But we appreciate you guys. We do see all the comments.
Some people don't know that there's an Open Studio YouTube channel, and You'll Hear It YouTube channel just specifically for the podcast.
Yeah, super confusing.
Yeah.
Should we fuse them? We can't.
No, we don't want to. We don't want to.
Yeah, so when some of our longtime listeners and friends and Open Studio members have just let us know that they just are finding this out. So please spread the word. We love you on the audio podcast, but YouTube is the place to go comment and to
watch
subscribe.
this video too. Watch Herbie yourself.
Video, of course. So
cool.
Until next time.
You'll hear it.